morning, friends. Today is Saturday, May 9th, and it is a chilly, windy day outside. I'm going to do this meditation a little bit differently. You're not going to be looking at me this time. There are other things to see. I wanted to give you an opportunity to look out my window, see what I see, the beauty of the water and the blue skies and the clouds. There's a little balcony outside this room, and I would open the doors and take you out on the balcony, but it's too cold. So I'm going to just let you look through the glass. I wanted to let you know that in a few minutes I will be sharing a meditation from Howard Thurman, who was an African-American author, philosopher, theologian, educator, and civil rights leader. He was an amazing man and an incredibly profound in his understanding of the human spirit. I'm going to be reading that meditation for you in a few minutes, and I'm going to show you the words as I read it. But I wanted to start out by giving you a different picture, and I'm going to now walk us over. You can see my messy desk and some of the other things in my space, but I wanted to come over here and share chalice lighting with you that I think kind of fits the day. We kindle this flame, honoring the doorways in our souls, the windows through which we gaze at one another, the balconies where we catch glimpses of sky, the thresholds we stand on today, wondering, hoping, fearing, dreaming. I'm going to be reading from this page, Life Goes On by Howard Thurman, and I want to say a word or two before I do that. Thurman was a contemporary of Martin Luther King and really the age of King's father. He was a mentor to King, and the despair and the evil of which he writes in this meditation is obviously from a different time. It is during the civil rights movement, and he's speaking specifically about racism and oppression, the kind of white supremacy that has always been destructive and oppressive. We are in a different time, and our fears right now are focused on this pandemic, but I would say that the pandemic is an overlay on top of the same kinds of racism and oppression that Thurman speaks of. But what he's really talking about is the power of life, and life within each of us, life which calls to us, and life which carries us beyond our fears. So with that, I'm going to read this and let you follow along with the words in front of you. During these turbulent times, we must remind ourselves repeatedly that life goes on. This we are apt to forget. The wisdom of life transcends our wisdoms. The purpose of life outlasts our purposes. The process of life cushions our processes. The mass attack of disillusion and despair, distilled out of the collapse of hope, has so invaded our thoughts that what we know to be true and valid seems unreal and ephemeral. There seems to be little energy left for aught but futility. This is the great deception. By it, whole persons have gone down to oblivion without the will to affirm the great and permanent strength of the clean and the commonplace. Let us not be deceived. It is just as important as ever to attend to the little graces by which the dignity of our lives is maintained and sustained. Birds still sing. The stars align to cast their gentle gleam over the desolation of the battlefields. And the heart is still inspired by the kind word and the gracious deed. There is no need to fear evil. There is every need to understand what it does, how it operates in the world, what it draws upon to sustain itself. We must not shrink from the knowledge of the evilness of evil. Over and over, we must know that the real target of evil is not destruction of the body, the reduction to rubble of cities. The real target of evil is to corrupt the spirit of man and to give his soul the contagion of inner disintegration. When this happens, there is nothing left. The very citadel of man is captured and laid waste. Therefore, the evil in the world around us must not be allowed to move from without to within. This would be to be overcome by evil. To drink in the beauty that is within reach, to clothe one's life with simple deeds of kindness, to keep alive a sensitiveness to the movement of the Spirit of God in the quietness of the human heart and in the workings of the human mind. This is, as always, the ultimate answer to the great deception. May Thurman's words remind us of the precious value of life. May they help us celebrate it and protect our souls from the contagion of inner disintegration. May Thurman's words hold us during these turbulent times. May it be so, and namaste.